All right. If you're like me, or anywhere close to like me, but I know you're not like me, then you would probably appreciate this just a little bit. Now, I know that I've featured small little knives on my channel, but I don't know. This one was kind of a must for my taste. Mainly because it's Kershaw. I'm not a huge fan of Kershaw, but they've been coming out with some really interesting stuff lately, and this one kind of got my attention, and you'll see why. So let's get into it, everybody. Let's talk blades because that's what we're into. Got for you today the Kershaw Launch 12. Where is it? There it is. Bam! That's this California legal version. This automatic knife is regulated by various laws. Please read the product information contained in this box before using your automatic knife. No, this is not a full-size knife. It looks like it, judging from the box. It looks pretty big, right? It's not. It's just the California legal version. And I don't got a problem with that, actually. I think it's a really interesting design, very attractive. And it was something that I quite enjoy. I really wanted the big one, but obviously I can't have that one, but that's fine. This is just as good. Later on in the channel, though, I am going to have a friend of mine who's active duty and in the military. He doesn't want me to reveal who he is or anything like that for his own safety and privacy, and that's fine. He has his own little knife collection that he's going to let me borrow for this channel, and I'm actually pretty stoked because I get to handle knives that I wouldn't normally handle, so I'm really excited for that. Of course, it's only on temporary loan. I have to give it right back to him. But it'd be knives that I wish that I had in my collection, so it's just really awesome of him to do that for me. I don't see anything about... Well, I'm sure it's in here. The limitations with laws and stuff like that. You do have to, like I said, and I will always say, carry responsibly, and you should. So, to the knife. This is a very cool thing. I saw this and immediately I was like, oh, I want one. I did, just because it's so cool. Bam! Look at that. It kind of looks like a surfboard or a fish, actually. Let me turn on the... There we go. Now, if you see that, that's actually a carbon fiber inlay right here. Isn't that freaking awesome? And this is aluminum handle. The pocket clip is ginormous on this thing, but then again, the knife is small. Kershaw, you got the little American flag right there, which they put on most of their knives. Not all of them, but I think more of the recent ones, maybe. You can switch this knife carry, but it's only tip up for right or left-hand carry. You see the little holes that are tapped for that right there. Unfortunately, you cannot do tip-down carry, but that's fine. At least for me, anyways, it doesn't bother me. It's got a stiletto look to it. Got the little quillions on the side right here that don't really function anything other than aesthetics. And then, of course, it's got the recessed button right here. It's just too cool. I love that. And, of course, it's small. And would you EDC this? Yeah, well, as long as, you know, I mean, that there are certain places in Southern California where no automatic knives are allowed, but apparently this does not qualify as an auto knife. It kind of just falls in the jurisdiction of the gray area, is what one of my law enforcement buddies told me. He said, you know, because it's under 2 inches, and it is. It's like 1.9 or something like that. I think it's a 1 point. Excuse me. Let me see. Hang on there with me. There's just so much to read on here. The blade length, yeah, 1.90. So I was right. Sometimes it'll go 1.95, but I think that's probably about 2 inches right there. But this little guy is freaking sweet. Oh man, I want the real size one. I want the big one, the real, the 4-inch blade. I would love to have one of those. And of course, if I do, it'd just be a relic. I wouldn't be able to carry it, but this would be so, I mean, I have this one, and this one's, it's nice already. I absolutely think this is just fantastic. Even for its small size, it's pretty awesome. And it's got a decent amount of handle on there, so you can actually have, and you can see this, my hands are not too huge, they're not small, but you can actually have a decent 4-finger grip on there, and you can rest your thumb actually quite comfortably in this position and still be able to cut things, whether it's package or if you're whittling some wood or whatever. And I just love the look of it. I mean, you got the carbon fiber little inlay right there. That's really handsome. And I'm a sucker for carbon fiber. It just really, really is nice. So the price on this bad boy, if you go on Blade HQ, which is where I got this, is $106.95. And it's just one of those kind of things where I was fighting myself, like, oh, I don't really think it's necessary. But at the same time, I just really wanted an auto. And I guess this is the only one only kind that I can actually get to. The only thing that does bother me is the overall kind of blade to handle ratio is a little bit on the funky side, but I mean, it's fine. As long as the handle's good, I guess the blade's fine with it. We'll go ahead and get into the specs of this bad boy right here. So I'll bust out the scale real quick. A little bit on the dirty side. All right. So how much does this bad boy weigh? Oh, a whopping 1.91 ounces. 2 ounces for this little guy. Not bad. Not bad at all. And of course, we'll do some size comparisons to whatever I'm carrying in my pocket right now, so that you guys have a good idea of how big this thing actually is. So you're looking at a less than 2 inches of a knife, of a blade, but an overall whopping 5 5/8 inches altogether. And when it's folded up in your pocket, you're looking at a 3 3/4 inches of handle. That's not bad. Not bad at all. It's a CPM 154 stainless. Kai USA Diskin design. Freaking cool. And of course, you see the little Kershaw. Auto Kershaw. Man, I would love to actually have, I think it's called the Launch 8. I think that's what it's called. It's the full length. But, I don't know. That'd be really cool. And the button is nice and recessed in there, so it's really difficult to push that. I mean, you really have to push it in, because if I'm pushing it in just a little bit, it's not firing the blade. So you really have to push it in order for it to come open. So that's a really neat safety feature. Now, there are no safeties on this other than that one I just stated. There's no, extra lock on here like on the Leaks. But it's still a fantastic knife, at least in my opinion. First impressions, I was already blown away by it when I opened the box and looked at it. I loved it. And it kind of looks like a fish from this angle. It does. It looks kind of like a fish. It's a little weird, but hey, little cutting tool. This is particularly one of those ones that's a cutting tool. So, I mean, Blade HQ has a decent amount of varieties on this knife in particular. So if you want to, go ahead and check it out at Blade HQ. They are awesome. I love Blade HQ. Can't find it on Amazon, I go to Blade HQ. Anyways, so let's see. Let's do a size comparison to whatever I have in my pocket. And today I am carrying the CRKT Shizuka Noken. Yes, I had to turn the blade to remind myself how to say that, because I don't know why, but I was almost going to say Shizuki, but it's Shizuka. Maybe I'm watching too many animes lately, and I'm just going with whatever sounds right. Deep carry pocket clip on this knife, so it hides pretty deep and pretty well. Out of the way in very sleek kind of fashion. So this is, to me, is a I shouldn't say to me, this is a 3.5-inch blade. So compared to this little guy, it's quite small. Now, is that a bad thing? Well, I guess that all really depends on you and your taste and what you expect out of the knife that you are expecting. Now, whether or not you should get this, if you're a fan of small knives, which I like small knives, I do, if they're functional. And this one seems like a functional knife. You got a decent amount of handle here. your knife blade is at a usable size, which if you can use a box cutter, you can use a small little guy like this and it'll operate just as fine. The only difference is you're not going to really be able to change out the blade on this thing. If you need a sharper blade, you're going to have to sharpen this little guy. So it's nothing like a box cutter, but as far as small blade-ish kind of thing, this would be one of those, So, now I'm sure you guys are probably wondering what the handle material is. Like I said, it's aluminum. It doesn't tell me what kind of aluminum it is. No, that's kind of a bust. Come on, you got to give me some more information than that. Wow, no information. So someone told me that it's an aircraft aluminum. If you guys know, go ahead and add it to the comment section down below. That would be great, because I don't know what this is, and I'm trying to look up information on it, and I guess it's not too vague, but hey, whatever. But it's really nice. It doesn't provide too much grip. I got to be able to tell you, you can feel that there's a type of texture on here, but it's not. I think it's more of just the coating rather than the actual handle itself. But the shape is actually interesting. It feels thin in the hand, but that's obvious when it comes down to it. It's a good little tool. It's fun to have a little legal auto, that you can just carry around with you. But pay attention to your knife jurisdictions and your laws, your local laws and all that when purchasing any type of automatic knife. You want to be able to make sure, because there's, you don't want to get yourself in trouble. Or just do what my buddies does, and whenever he walks around with something in his pocket he shouldn't, just don't broadcast it, I guess, is what he likes to tell me. Because anytime he pulls something out of his pocket, I'm like, dude, why are you carrying that? He's a funny guy. He really is, but he doesn't care. I do. So, then again, he's military, so it doesn't really apply to him anyway. No, this is a great knife. This is a great little knife. If you pull this out of your pocket to show people, I'm sure they're just going to stand there and laugh at you and be like, oh, how cute. Look at that little guy. So let's go ahead, and I want to see how sharp this thing is. I'm going to bust out some paper real quick. And as always with Kershaw's, they do a fantastic job at putting a hell of a razor's edge on their knives. That's not always true, but most of the time they do have some really, really sharp knives. I gotta say, this one is hella sharp. So this is something you're into, go ahead and check it out. It is, like I said, a steep $107. That's not including shipping and handling. But it's a neat little knife. It's a neat little knife. It does what it needs to do. It's really handsome. And it's California legal. Why the heck not? Cool little guy. So anyways, as always, slash that like button, stab that subscribe if you haven't done so already. Go ahead and click on that bell icon so you get notifications when I post new videos. Be kind, be safe. Please carry responsibly. I will see you all in the next video.